Okay, in this video, we're going to look at another example of the quadratic formula. We're going to take this problem, 2x squared plus 6x equals -3, and we're going to solve that. When you are solving your quadratics with the quadratic formula, step one is always to equal it to 0. So that -3, we are going to add it over to the other side. Got to do the inverse operations. The next thing you want to make sure you know is your a, b, and c. So in this case, a is 2, b is 6, and c is 3. And then from there, I'm going to substitute them into my quadratic formula. So it's probably best when you're first learning to go ahead and write down the formula and then substitute your values in and use your parentheses. So b is 6, so I will put that 6 in parentheses. So everywhere I see a b, I'm going to put that 6 in parentheses. And then minus 4, a is 2, and c is 3. See how I use parentheses around each of those values I'm substituting. Over 2 times 2. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is calculate your 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3. And in this case, that simplifies to 12. And then on the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. Now, 12 is not a prime number, so what I like to do is just kind of work to the side and make my little tree to reduce that. So I'm going to do 4 and 3 and 2 and 2. So I get the pair of 2's. Remember, the pair comes out on a date. This guy doesn't have a match. He stays home alone. Now, what I want you to look for when you're doing these is, I call it the trifecta. See these 3 numbers out front? If you can reduce those by a common amount, then you should reduce them. That means the whole problem will reduce. So since those are all even, I can divide each number by 2. Note, you're only doing the numbers that are not inside the square root sign. So just those 3 that I've highlighted there. So if I divide each one by 2, I would get -3 plus or minus 1 all over 2. Now that square root of 3 is just hanging out there to the side. So keep in mind the square root of 3 is a weird decimal. It's like 1.7, so it's not very convenient to divide that by 2, so don't do that. And it's being multiplied anyway, so just reduce those numbers, the 3 numbers out front. Again, I call it the trifecta. And then that would be your final answer. You can break that up into 2 separate solutions, and there's a 1 there in front of the 3, so it's technically you don't have to write that, but we could write them 2 separate solutions like this. So we get -3 plus the square root of 3 over 2 and -3 minus the square root of 3 over 2. So that's how you do your quadratic formula and reduce a square root, and then actually reduce the entire problem at the end.